Tyler's heart was healthy now, nearly good as new, the surgeon had said. It was the best heart she could imagine. Her son had a gentle, affectionate nature and a laugh that, until recently, had brought tears to her eyes each time she heard it. With all he'd been through, the fact that he could laugh with such abandon renewed her faith. And Tyler had learned patience. Even while being carried around the cemetery for the past hour, he had not once protested the seemingly fruitless journey. He hung on to her with one arm around her neck, clutching his stuffed monkey, his eyes looking ahead as Susanna moved among the headstones, stopping to read each one. Not names. She didn't care about names. But she read every date, particularly those on the smaller headstones. It was those small stones that merited her scrutiny, the sort of stone the parents of an infant might select. Tyler's downy blonde hair brushed lightly against her chin. Soon he'd be able to walk. She wanted to savor this last month or so, when he still could not explore the world without her. Tyler finally made a sound of impatience, a whimper, a "Mom, aren't we through here yet?" sort of sound. With a sigh, she leaned over to set him down in the grass, and he crawled to the nearest headstone and hoisted himself up by it, dancing up and down as if he heard a tune inside his head. She stood up and stretched, her hands pressed against the small of her back, and the warm breeze wrapped her long skirt around her legs. For the first time since arriving at the cemetery, she let herself look toward the foothills above Chautauqua Park, and realized she could see Linc's house from here. It was nearly in the shadow of the mountains now. A faint wash of fading sunlight lit up one side of the house and gilded the huge satellite dish in his yard, and she felt tears fill her eyes. She wished she could tell Linc her plan, but that wouldn't be fair to him. Not that the plan itself was fair. She was going to keep her child, but in the process, she would lose the man who had been her strength and support for the past 2 years. For far, far longer than that, if she were honest with herself. How would she get by without him? She didn't know. This was the first major decision she made in years without consulting him. She was not the sort of person who did things entirely on her own, without the advice of friends. She never possessed that sort of courage, but she would have to find it now. If she did indeed lose custody of Tyler to Jim and Peggy, she would have to put her plan in action and in so doing never see Linc Sebastian again. It was so dark by the time she found the small, cold marker that she could barely read the words carved into the stone. August 16th, 1968 to September 14th, 1968. Perfect. She read the name. Kimberly Stratton.